When a listed company earns profits, there are two ways to utilize the gains. Firstly, they can either reinvest the profits into the business, or the second option can be to share it with shareholders, which are called a dividend. Companies announce their dividends for a financial year, in a periodic format, and pay to the eligible shareholders. These dividends can be a source of passive income on your stock investments. Generally, a company with a high dividend yield is considered to be safe. The dividend yield of a share is the ratio of dividends paid per equity share to shareholders on the current price of the equity share. Stocks with high dividend yield compared to benchmarks like Sensex and Nifty 50 are referred to as high dividend yield stocks. The high dividend yield also gives a fair understanding of the share's price value. Simply put, high dividend yield stock hints that the stock is typically underpriced by the market and has more potential ahead. Motilal Oswal in its latest report has announced high dividend yield stocks for the financial year FY22. The top 10 dividend yield stocks have given better returns to investors than compared to traditional investment schemes. Top 10 dividend yield stocks. Vedanta data from Motilal Oswal showed that Vedanta's dividend payment to shareholders has increased over the past 3 fiscal years. The company had given a dividend of ₹3.90 per share in FY20, which increased to ₹9.50 per share in FY21, and further to a whopping ₹45 per share in FY22. During FY22, the Mumbai-based multinational mining company's dividend yield is 17.1%, highest in Motilal's tracker. On BSE, Vedanta shares are around ₹263.85 a piece, up by 1.34%. The company's market cap is around 98,078.23 crore. NMDC government-owned mineral producer, NMDC's dividend yield is around 12.1% by FY22. The company had given a dividend of ₹14.70 per share in FY22 to its shareholders, compared to ₹7.80 per share dividend in FY21 and a ₹5.30 per share dividend in FY20. On Tuesday, NMDC shares closed at ₹122 a piece, slightly down compared to the previous closing on BSE. The company has a market cap of 35,753.39 crore. Indian Oil Corp, the oil marketing company's dividend yield is about 11.8% by end of FY22. A dividend of ₹8.40 per share was paid in FY22 compared to ₹8 per share in FY21 and ₹2.80 per share in FY20. On BSE, Indian Oil shares are at ₹70.75 a piece, marginally down from the previous closing. The company's market cap was slightly shy of 1 lakh crore rupees and stood at 99,907.76 crore by end of Tuesday's trading session. INEOS Star Solution, the specialty chemicals company, has a dividend yield of 11.4% by FY22. The small cap stock paid a massive dividend of ₹105 per share during FY22, more than 10-folds higher than compared ₹10 per share in FY21. On BSE, the company's shares are at ₹897.65 a piece, lower by 0.56%. The company's market cap is around 1,578.57 crore. SAIL, the government-owned steel company, has a dividend yield of 10.8% in FY22. Its dividend stood at ₹8.80 per share in FY22 compared to ₹2.80 per share in the previous fiscal. On BSE, SAIL shares are around ₹81.95 a piece, up by 1.80%. The company's market cap is 33,846.11 crore. Power Finance Corporation PFC, India's largest infrastructure finance company, has a dividend yield of 10.2% in FY22. The company paid a dividend of ₹12 per share in FY22 compared to ₹10 per share in FY21 and ₹9.50 per share in FY20. The NBFC settled at 116 rupees and 55 paise a piece, up by 1.83% on BSE during Tuesday's trading session. It has a market cap of 30,770.16 crore. REC Limited PFC-backed financial services provider in the power sector, REC has a dividend yield of 9.3% in FY22. The company paid 10 rupees per equity share in fiscal 2021-22, however, lower from 11 rupees per share in FY20, but higher from 8 rupees and 30 paise per share in FY20. REC shares closed at 107 rupees and 90 paise a piece, up by 1.55% on BSE. The company's market cap is 28,412.49 crore currently. HUDCO, government-owned HUDCO, which provides services in housing finance and plays role in urban infrastructure development, has a dividend yield of 8.5% by end of FY22. The company's dividend stood at 3 rupees and 50 paise per share in FY22, higher than 2 rupees and 20 paise per share dividend in FY21, but lower than the 3 rupees and 10 paise per share dividend in FY20. HUDCO shares ended at 41 rupees and 70 paise a piece, down by 0.83% on BSE. The company's market cap is around 8,347.92 crore. National Aluminium, NALCO, with diversified operations in the mining, metal, and power sector, NALCO is a government-owned firm that has a dividend yield of 8.4% by end of FY22. The company's dividend is at 6 rupees and 50 paise per share in FY22, rising from 3 rupees and 50 paise per share in FY21 and 1 rupee and 50 paise per share in FY20. NALCO shares finished at 80 rupees and 35 paise a piece, up by 1.26% on Tuesday. The company's market cap is around 14,757.34 crore. AADITYA Global Solutions IT Service Management Company, HGS, has a dividend yield of 8.3% in FY22. The company's dividend was 9.5 times higher at a whopping 124 rupees per share in FY22 compared to mere 13 rupees per share in FY21. In a financial year, FY20, the dividend stood at 11 rupees and 80 paise per share. On BSE, HGS shares closed at 1,409 rupees and 40 paise a piece, up by 0.83%. The company's market cap is around 5,890.61 crore. These 10 dividend yield stocks have outrun bank fixed deposits, which range from 2.9% to a little over 7%. Notably, the interest rates on FDs vary from bank to bank. Also, these 10 stocks have beaten small saving schemes like Public Provident Fund Account, PPF, and National Savings Certificates, NSC, which offers 7.1% and 6.8% interest rate currently. Other dividend yield stocks apart from the top 10, in FY22, Banco Products has a dividend yield of 7.9% and ONGC with a yield of 7.8%. Companies like Oil India, Hindustan Zinc, and Coal India have a dividend yield of 7.4% each. While Nilon has a dividend yield of 6.7%, followed by Savitu Oil and IRFC with a yield of 6.5% each. Further, Geojit Financial Services and Rights Compa NY have a dividend yield of 6.3% each in FY22, whereas Oracle Financial Services has a yield of 6.1%. The oil company, HPCL, has a dividend yield of 5.7%, while CESC, DB Corp, and Rail Vikas have a dividend yield of 5.6% each by end of FY22. These dividend yields are as of September 1, 2022, excluding special dividends. The companies hold a market cap above 1,000 crore.